What's up, everybody? Back for another Honkai Star Rail video, and hopefully this time there's actually audio, because I totally didn't record this video and then went to upload it and then realized that it was silent the entire time. Kind of hard to tell how much you should summon for a character if the entire video is just this. Well, anyway, this is a should you summon for the Herta. Now, the Herta is rerunning in the first phase of 3.3, and she's actually a rather more recent character, so not much has changed, but obviously we got to go over it regardless. And then we'll do the actual new character next, right? I just want to do Herta first because I like the Herta a lot. She literally has a giant key. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Basically, like kind of like a Keyblade. She's ice, probably my favorite element in like the Hoyo games. She has a big ass hat, right? She's cool. She's OP. Her animations are sick. I mean, what more could you really ask for besides, I guess, I don't know, costumes? Maybe, I don't know. Still wondering when we're actually gonna get costumes, but that's a whole different video. So let's get into the video. We're gonna go over Herta and her light cone. Briefly talk about that. I'll have it like a build team video. I'm not too sure which one I'll do, but that'll be in the next couple days after the next Should You Summon. So if you don't want to miss out on that, don't forget to hit the like button, because YouTube gets really happy when you hit that like button, and I get really happy when you hit the like button, and spreading happiness is very nice. And subscribe so you don't miss out on future uploads. But anyway, let's jump into it. The Herta is a 5-star Ice or Edition character. She's cool as fuck. Her basic attack, I really need to go over it. It's just your basic. Like, literally, it's in the name basic. It's your basic attack, quite literally. Skill, deals ice damage equal to 70% of her attack to one designated enemy and inflicts 1 stack of interpretation. Deals ice damage equal to 70% of her attack to targets hit by the instance of the skill and the respective adjacent targets. This effect can repeat 2 times. Then her ultimate rearranges the number of interpretation stacks to all enemies, prioritizing the transfer of the highest numbers of interpretation stacks to elite level targets and above. Meaning, when you get more stacks of interpretation with the skill, it will transfer on the ultimate to the pretty much the boss enemy, right? That way you're getting the most out of your interpretation stacks. Then, deals ice damage equal to, I lost my place in the line, sorry. Then deals ice damage equal to 200% of her attack to all enemies. When using ultimate, increase the Herta's attack by 80%, lasts for 3 turns. After the use, the Herta immediately takes action and gains 1 stack of inspiration. Inspiration can stack up to 4 times, while having inspiration enhances skill to Hear Me Out. Hear Me Out, this is the big damage move. Consumes 1 stack of inspiration, deals ice damage equal to 80% of the Herta's attack to one designated enemy, and inflicts 1 stack of interpretation. Deals ice damage equal to 80% of Herta's attack to the targets hit by this instance of skill and the respective adjacent targets, repeating 2 times. At the end, deals ice damage equal to 40% of the Herta's attack to all enemies. Now you might be thinking, damn, these percents are a bit low. Trust me, she hits like a freight train. Then her technique, after using technique, increases her attack by 60% at the start of the next battle, lasting for 2 turns. If there are basic treasures in this current map, using technique can mark up to 3 basic treasures. After entering battle by using technique in Simulated Universe or Diverging Universe, at the start of each wave deals true damage to enemies targets lower than elite level by an amount equal to 99% of the target's max HP, and deals true damage to enemy targets at elite level and above by amount equal to 30% of the target's max HP. So she got that divergent universe power creep technique. She also helps you search for chests, and she boosts her attack. This is probably one of the most universally good techniques, because it's helping you in normal fights, helping you in the simulated universe modes, and it helps you get treasures. Like, what else could you ask for, right? Then her talent, which is an actual paragraph because it explains interpretation stacks. When enemy targets enter battle, the Herta inflicts 1 stack of interpretation on them. At the start of each wave, applies 25 stacks of interpretation to a random enemy target, prioritizing elite level targets or above. When the enhanced skill primary target has interpretation, the multiplier for the damage dealt increases with each stack, granting an increase to 8% to 4% on the primary target / other targets respectively. If 2 or more characters fall in the path of rotation on the team, each stack grants an additional increase of 8% to 4% on the primary target / the other targets, right? Interpretation can stack up to 42 times. When using enhanced skill, resets the number of interpretation stacks on the primary target to 1. After the enemy target leaves the field or gets defeated by any character, interpretation will be transferred, prioritizing the transfer to elite level targets and above. Pretty much, more interpretation stacks means more damage. The person you hit with it loses their interpretation stacks, so you mostly want to target the main character you want to take out with it, because they're probably going to get the most interpretation stacks, and the guys on the sides will just probably explode instantly from the skill, I'm not gonna lie. Her bonus traces, very good by the way. For every 1 stack of interpretation inflicted on enemy targets, Herta gains 1 stack of answer, up to a max of 99 stacks. When using the ultimate, each answer stack increases the instance of the ultimate's damage multiplied by 1%, right? So, pretty self-explanatory. Number 2, when entering battle, if a team has 2 or more erudition characters, I'll increase all allies crit damage by 80%. It's pretty good. And the trace aloof, honest counts as at least 3 targets when calculating the number of targets hit. After attacking, applies 1 interpretation stacks to the target that has the highest existing interpretation stacks among hit enemy targets. If the attacker is an erudition character, then additionally apply 2. So another erudition character gets the 80% damage increase and helps Herta inflict interpretation stacks. Is pretty nice, meaning you can have a mini sub DPS on the team, and it's all allies, so if you have a character that scales off of crit damage, like let's say Sunday, Bronya, Sparkle, it helps them out as well. Then we have the third trace. When allied targets attack, inflicts 1 stack of interpretation on the hit enemy target. After attacking, for every 1 target hit by this attack, regenerates 3 fixed energy for Herta, counting up to a maximum of 5 targets. When using enhanced skill, the primary target's interpretation stack reaches 42, increases the ice damage dealt by Herta by 50%, lasts until the end of this attack. Pretty much more damage, more ways to stack interpretation, gives her energy, which actually is mad fucking helpful. Then, stat bonuses, 22.4% ice damage boost, 80% attack, and 5 speed. This is a pretty good set for DPS, and because it boosts their attack, it boosts their ice damage, and then boosts their speed. You obviously want to hit certain thresholds. Now, I never recommend going for dupes, but Herta has some pretty nice dupes. When the enhanced skill calculates the number of interpretation stacks, additionally counts 50% of the number of interpretation stacks on the 1 target with the most stacks among the primary target and adjacent targets. When interpretation is reset by using the enhanced skill, its stack number is reset to 15 instead, meaning it's just even easier to hit the max amount. E2, after Herta enters battle or uses ultimate, additionally gains 1 inspiration stack. After using enhanced skill, action advance her by 35%. Pretty nice. That helps her attack more, ult more, do more damage, right? E4, the speed of erudition characters on the team increased by 12%. Just, a little buff, just a light little speed buff. Then E6, the Herta's Ice Res Pen increases by 20%. When the number of enemy targets on the field is 3, 2, or 1, the ultimate damage multiplier increases by 140, 250, 400 respectively. Meaning, the less enemies, the more damage the ult does, helps her in single target scenarios, right? Other than that, the Herta is an excellent character. She's good in pretty much every game mode. She came out in 3.0, so it's only been 3 updates since she dropped. Don't know why they're rerunning her so fast. She's still kind of shielded in the content because there's a lot of erudition / ice stuff going around buff wise, kind of like how with Break, how there was a ton of stuff to keep Firefly relevant in before after she came out. It wasn't just like the enemies featured around her, it was also like the buffs, like Apocalyptic Shadow, MOC, Pure Fiction. They're all still kind of glazing Herta, which is funny because now she's rerun and she's still, being glazed by the game, right? Curious when they'll stop trying to buff Herta and give the buffs to like other characters like Castors, Mide, maybe like feign on the fake characters, right? If they do something other than Herta, they'll probably be like, oh, when attacking with a physical character, you do like 1,000,000 damage. I think one of the buffs in the upcoming endgame modes, I can't remember if it's Apocalyptic Shadow or not, has a physical buff, right? Which is interesting because Phanon's about to come out, after this update. But anyway, she's still really good, right? If you are lacking a good DPS, she's definitely a good option, right? Not that there's like 1,000,000 options right now for DPSs, just pick which one you like, but Herta is a solid one. Now her light cone, since she's erudition, there are a good amount that you can use, but hers is just really good. Increases her current rate by 12%, which is always a W. When wearers use their ultimate, increases the wearer's skill damage and ultimate damage dealt by 60%, lasting for 3 turns. And after wearer use their ultimate, if the ultimate consumes 140 or more energy, recovers 1 skill point. This makes it to where you're not going to get into the scenario where you ult with Herta, you action advance, and then you have no skill points, and you can't use her enhanced skill, right? On my free-to-play, I don't have her light cone, and good lord, the amount of times I've done that is really, really long. I might actually try to summon on her light cone on the free-to-play just because Running out of skill points on that team really does suck. I highly recommend if you're going for a DPS to get their light cone. Most of the time, it is the best option by far and really synergizes with their kit. Wow, go figure. That's how they sell the light cone, you know. But it really helps with skill point related stuff. I hate skill point related things. It makes me super annoyed. That's why I'm really mad I don't have Sunday's light cone. Whenever it reruns, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that because good lord, bro. Running out of skill points and having it be a turn where you want a character to always skill is so annoying in this game. I highly recommend grabbing her light cone if you can, but she still works perfectly fine without it. You just gotta have a little bit more skill point management. Now, like I said, if you are lacking a DPS or just want an upgrade, Herta is a good option, but by no means a must summon, right? Always get sustain and supports over your DPSs. Trust me, a older DPS would be a lot better when paired with a good a good support. Your DPS could be like, I don't know, let's say who's like an older DPS that this would work with. It's not a break DPSs, man. Let's just say Jinglu. Right? Well, she's getting a buff, bro. A hard example because I'm only thinking of like the break characters, right? Regardless, of you get what I mean. You have an older DPS, but you have like E1 Tribby, E1 Robin with them. Like they're gonna do damage, right? They're gonna do really, really good damage. So I highly recommend getting supports for your DPSs. Like if they're rerunning Tribby instead of Aglia in the second half, I'd be like, yo, don't summon for her to get Tribby E1. Way better. She'll be like a mini DPS, right? But like I said, if you're missing a DPS, you can go ahead and grab her. She's still very, very good. Other than that, that'll be it for the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.